Hey guys, and pugs, welcome back to a sit down with the captain, where we talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Let's see here, YouTube. I feel like I'll do that, and then that. That's better. See what you guys are talking about here. Dan Ben is first, yes. Hope you're doing amazing, Foley. Thanks for all you do for the Trek community. Thank you, Laughable Larry. I'm doing okay today. I wouldn't say amazing, but I'm doing okay. So, well, we'll wait for a few people to get here first. But anything you guys would like to talk about, well, let me know in the chat. And don't forget to hit that like button. Oops. As the likes are important. So. Don't worry, I'm still here. All right, let's see. What are we chatting about today? I don't know. Anything and everything. You let me know. Doing multiple things at once on my phone and must have just tap this. Look at Precious over there, just chilling. She's a good girl, aren't you? Here she is. She wants to go outside and be in the sun, but it's a little bit too cold still today, isn't it? Yeah. I'm waiting for the dog to ask hard-hitting questions. Yes. I think he'll be waiting for a while. Because she's kind of dumb, kind of puggish, if you will. Yeah, I should really come up with topics to talk about during these when I start them off, but here we are. What do you think of some of the new things in Trek coming, like Strange New Worlds novel? Strange New Worlds novel should be interesting, just like the Discovery ones were pretty interesting, but they were quickly decanonized, essentially. So that is what it is. Let's see what's next. Prodigy video game. If it's a mobile game, I don't know. I'm not sure what to think about. I think it's called Shockwave or something like that. I hope it's good. I'm looking forward to some more Trek video games for sure, but yeah, I don't know. Video games are kind of iffy these days, especially if they're mobile based. Like there's a Lower Decks one coming out that's a mobile based game, and I just, quite frankly, I don't really care. We'll see how it goes. And the Playmobil Klingon Bird of Prey, the last two will get reveal videos this year. The Playmobil Klingon Bird of Prey, after I finally got the product, I was kind of impressed with the Playmobil TOS Enterprise. So it depends on the size and the price point. Again, I still think the Playmobil Enterprise was a little overpriced. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see. I don't know if I'll get it, but I don't know if there's images out there of it or not, but I haven't even seen it. I've heard, this is like the third time I've heard about it. So yeah, I mean, as long as things are done well, I don't have a problem. But the pricing is the thing for me with Playmobil. Unfortunately, you're playing for that name, Playmobil, and it's a little bit pricey for what you get sometimes. So, the picture of the Prodigy video game showcased at the all the consoles and PC covers. Okay, I didn't see that. I saw a thing at Mission Chicago. It's like a banner for it, but it just showed the crew. So it was nothing new, really. I'll have to take a look. I'll have to research and look into that stuff. But honestly, right now, I don't have an answer for you, Dan, because I don't know that much about it. So anything new in Star Trek, I'm excited for, obviously. So we'll have to see how that goes. But yeah. Tangerine Star 26. Hey Cap, back home now. Finally watched Star Trek Picard episode 7. Interesting and entertaining. Cool. Hold on. Home now. Back home from where? Where were you, Tangerine Star? Were you in Chicago? And if so, just getting home now. Damn. I don't know. The last thing about the Prodigy video game, it's been said to be kid-friendly, family fun. Oh, well, then I'm not too stoked about it. Don't get me wrong. I don't want I don't want like all shoot 'em up kind of video games, but honestly, Elite Force was one of the most fun Star Trek video games. Family fun and kid. See, the kid friendliness of it is. Does it mean it's gonna be a kids game? Is it gonna be like a bunch of mini games or puzzle games? It's like, okay, well, that's not really my cup of tea, but I don't know. We'll have to see about that. See what platforms it's available on. I don't know what else to say. Hit that like button, guys. 15 people here, 12 likes. Try to get those likes up, up, up. But yeah. What else could we talk about? So much stuff. Oh, check out our videos. Yesterday was our review videos, both of them, and then today is the one on the uniform that Dr. Baltar is wearing in the last episode of Picard. A lot of people, I've seen a lot of speculation online that, oh, what are they trolling us? This is a First Contact uniform that they got completely wrong. And no, it's not. It's actually interesting. It's kind of a mix between Voyager and First Contact. It's almost like an iterative step, but it's also got like 2 black lines here, which could be representative of a specialist uniform because he's a psychiatrist. I don't know what to say about it, essentially, more than what we said in the video. So I'd say go check out the video where we compare it to different uniforms and kind of where it fits. New Trek has definitely given us a lot of new uniforms, I will say that. And the word uniform almost doesn't apply because uniform denotes uniformity, but they're all different now, so. Dave Underwood says, what I want to know is who is the guy in the Pike trailer standing with Pike and Spock? He's wearing a blue shirt. Some have speculated he's a young Dr. McCoy with a mustache or a young Scotty. Probably McCoy, honestly. Scotty was seen wearing a yellow shirt, I believe, in Where No Man Has Gone Before, and then red. I don't think he would have been blue, red, and yellow. So I think if it is somebody important, it's probably McCoy, which would make a lot of sense. McCoy having facial hair is not unheard of, as we saw in the motion picture. He had the mustache and the full beard. So, yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it being McCoy. It doesn't need to be Scotty. I really wouldn't want it to be Scotty, but it is what it is. We'll see. It could just be nobody. It could just be a specialist. It could be a scientist that's there for a particular mission. It could just be, somebody else. But the way they have that framed, yeah, I think it is McCoy. That is my guess as well. So I'm fine with that. Tangerine Star 26, Chicago. I wish. Out working on location on a film shoot, which was great fun and very innovative. Cool. That's cool. That's more exciting than Chicago, I think. So what kind of film can you say? What do you mean by it was innovative? That implies like new technology or new techniques or something to me. So excited to hear about that. Joseph Barbato, every time we talk Trek games, I have to bring up the JJ game I played on PS3. Elite Four is probably still better though. Actually, the JJ Star Trek game, I have some gameplay of it on my channel on Trekyards early on. Um, I really enjoyed that game. As much as I wasn't a fan of the movie per se, the game was pretty good. It was pretty fun, and it's better to play two person, I think. But the AI is a little bit stupid when you're playing just one person. However, I did play the whole game all the way through, and I gotta say I liked it. It made me appreciate the JJ verse a lot more, because we actually saw the inside of the Kelvin Enterprise, and we saw a real engineering room. We saw the turbolift shafts, which are basically just cylinders, and the turbolift was like a ball that rolled. So the center part of the turbolift, where the people stand, stays stationary, but the ball rolls around it through the tube. I mean, you got to see a lot of really cool stuff in that video game, including some Gorns. You had to take out some Gorns, and I really enjoyed the game. Honestly, it was had a lot of things that the movie was lacking, and if the movie would have made the movie a thousand times better. Like I said, an actual engineering room for the Enterprise, and it looked good. It looked like an engineering room should. It didn't look like a brewery. So, yeah, that was a fun game, and I would like to do a playthrough of it maybe at some point on the channel. But yeah, it'd be fun if Samuel and myself could play that together. Hello from Bosnia, Herzegovina, as you are, and Sylvia. Well, Sylvia and myself are good. She's actually just lying down. She's actually not feeling the best today. She's very low energy. And yeah, that's all I'll say about that. She doesn't have COVID or anything. Don't worry about that. But yeah, just it's that time, you know, that's all I'll say. So, happy Easter, y'all, says Urs. Joseph Barbato, yeah, 2-player co-op was super fun. Cody Michaels, finally I can catch a live stream. Sweet. Hope we have something interesting to talk about during this live stream, though. It's one of those things. So we went to lie down. I had some free time, which I should actually be cleaning. I need to dust the library again and vacuum, but instead I chose to do this, so Joseph Brado, yeah, the JJ Prize had better turbo shafts than Discovery's Turbo Shaft City. Dan Ben says, Gorn in Strange New Worlds. Is there confirmed Gorn? I don't know. We saw a little reptilian-like baby creature almost. We're not sure if it's a Gorn, but I'd be cool with Gorn in Strange New Worlds as long as it was explained correctly, because apparently they hadn't seen the Gorn until, you know, Arena. So I don't know. It depends how it's handled. They probably will go there with the Gorn, but they don't have to. But I can see them doing it just because that's kind of what they do. So, Tangerine Star 26. I think you could say that, but if I said more, they would disappear me. NDA, but it's all looking like it will make an impact. Cool. That's cool, Tangerine Star. Good to hear. Eric Martin throws in $25. Amazing. Thank you so much, Eric. Happy Easter, Cat. Happy Easter to you too, Eric. I still have to have you over soon. I'm still waiting for some nicer weather. But yeah, got the Camaro out finally. Picked it up from my dad's. When did I do that? What's the date today? On the 12th. That's when I picked it up, and yeah, started up beautifully. Drives great. It's going to be expensive to keep it on the road this year for just with gas prices, because it needs the high octane. So she's a thirsty girl, but she's got expensive tastes, if you know what I'm saying. So anyway, that's done, and yeah, I just wish the weather would stay nice. I mean, we've had some mild days, but every day seems to have a smattering of rain, and I get it. It's April. April showers bring May flowers. You can't forget that saying. However, it's really fucking annoying because I just want to enjoy the weather and actually have a day where I can sit outside and be warm, and it's never quite warm enough, and when it is warm enough, it usually has rain every 5 minutes. So I'm kind of sick of spring already. At least it's not winter, I know, but still, it's a little bit disconcerting just waiting for the weather to turn nice. So, hey Jasper Jedi, how's it going? Fleet Paw Swiftback, Gorn wedding. Yes, the Gorn wedding from Lower Decks. Yeah. It's April weather. One never knows what you're gonna get. LOL. Yeah, I've been looking at memories from past years, and we were already sitting outside. We were already like, it was just nicer in the last few years. April showers, bring May flowers hasn't really been a thing for the last few years, as far as I can remember. But for some reason this year it's just kind of shitty. So I don't know. I'm just complaining now at this point. Fleetbus says, bring on summer, baby. Long, hot days with no rain in sight. Amen. Amen. Big fan of summer. Hate winter. Don't mind fall. Spring's just too messy. But, sorry, autumn. Autumn. You should always up your word game instead of downgrading it. Autumn is such a better word than fall. So, autumn. I'll go with autumn. Dan says, one Strange New Worlds promo had like drawn images and there was a Borg cube and TNG officer, and at the end of the live action tribbles. I haven't seen that one. Donna retracted her message, but thank you. We still have snow out in my area after that blizzard. Well, that absolutely sucks. It says on the forecast we might be getting a little bit of snow on Tuesday, mixed with rain. So, but the temperature also, the low wasn't below freezing, so I don't know why we get snow. I don't know. Cody Michaels, not Trek, but we don't have to be Trek. We don't have to talk about Trek. That's the first thing you guys need to realize when I just do these hangouts. You can talk about whatever the hell you want. Don't feel constrained to talk about Trek. I don't always want to talk about Trek. I talk about Trek all the time. So I have a lot of other interests. Shoot anything out there, we'll talk about anything. But he says, but I picked up a Star Wars Empire Strikes Back 40th Black Series figures recently. Really great. Do you collect the Black Series? I don't really collect the Black Series. I have a bunch of Black Series figures, but I wouldn't say I'm a collector of Black Series, no. There's a few that I do want to get still, and there's a few that when I see them, if I'm interested, I'll scoop them up, but I'm not a collector per se, like gotta catch them all, none of that shit. So yeah, the Black Series figures are pretty good. Most of them. Some of them are kind of eh. Donna says, what do May flowers bring? Hot, warm summers. That's what they bring. Yeah. Anyhow. Eric Martin, I'd like to play a game of Red Hands with a Gorn for cash. I have no idea what Red Hands is. Oh, is that where you like gotta slap the person's hand before they pull it away? Yeah, they move a little slow, don't they? Okay. Yeah, I got you. Figured it out. Fleet Paw says, winter's fucked up, spring's too wet, autumn is too cool, but summer's best. Autumn is not too cool, I gotta say. Autumn is a nice mix, you know. It can be cool in the morning and then nice and hot in the afternoon and then cool again in the evening. Fall's actually, well, there I downgraded my game again. Anyway, autumn is really a nice time of year for the first part of it. Let's put it that way. But yeah, summer is definitely my favorite. Absolutely, 100%. Urs says, if you hear thunder when the trees have no leaves, means you get snow again. That old saying has some truths. It's the first time I've ever heard that old saying, but interesting. Thank you. New Doctor Who episode, Legend of the Sea Devils, tomorrow on TV. Don't care. General Grievous, are there any games you play on PC or console in your spare time that you don't stream that you like? A lot. There's one I actually have been meaning to stream lately, and that's the Force Unleashed. I've started playing it again on PlayStation Now, and absolutely love that game. But usually Call of Duty. I love playing Call of Duty Modern Warf or Warzone, but not the Warzone part of it. I don't like where you parachute in and you're by yourself and you get killed and then you have to go to the gulag and it's just I don't like the downtime. I just play the multiplayer on Warzone and either do team deathmatch or free for all or whatever. I love those, and I don't usually stream those because I tend to curse a lot. But that's one that really it's one you don't have to be following a storyline. You just drop in, you have your loadouts ready to go as far as different weapons, and it's a good way to some days relieve tension. Some days I can play that for hours and just have fun. Other days, literally 10 minutes in, and if I'm not doing well and getting killed or people are cheating or whatever, I get very angry. So sometimes it's detrimental. Most of the time, it's pretty therapeutic though. So yeah, Warzone's one. I play a lot of other games like, I mean, Star Wars Squadrons I haven't played in a while, but we have streamed that. I don't have anything really on the go right now. Generally, when I get a new game, I'll play it from beginning to end. I really like the War for Cybertron games, Fall of Cybertron, War of Cybertron, things like that. Those are amazing Transformers games. But nothing I play on a regular basis, really, no. Except for Call of Duty Warzone. So. Fleetpath says, Mayflowers bring pretty girls with amazing red dresses. Yes, Mayflowers bring summer dresses, and there's nothing wrong with that. Donna says, joke, they bring pilgrims. Well, there you go. Jasper Jedi throws in $5. Been frustrated by Star Trek gaming in the current state, as it's either mobile or MMO. Your take? Miss games like Elite Force and Armada. I'm right there with you, man. I'm not a huge fan of MMOs like Star Trek Online, really. They are interesting, they are fun occasionally, and the mobile games are just bullshit generally. There's very few mobile games that have been fun for more than 5 minutes. So I'm right there with you. I want another Elite Force. I want another Starfleet Command series. I want something, or even another Armada type game, like something tangible. I mean, even the old Star Trek Invasion was a great game. I've got a lot of the old games. I just need to go back and start playing them again, I guess, because the new ones don't promise much. Resurgence looks good. Star Trek Resurgence is promising to be pretty interesting, but I think it's very limited as well. Certain choices, it's not really like the Elite Force style gameplay or anything. So, and I like ship combat stuff. So, like the Starfleet Command games were the best. Starfleet Command Volume 2. Well, Starfleet Command was good. Starfleet Command Volume 2 was, by hands down, one of my favorite games of all time, because it's really based on Starfleet Battles, the old tabletop game that me and my brother played. Starfleet Command Volume 3 was all right, but they changed the dynamics of the interface and the shield layout. There's only 4 shield facings instead of 6. There's some bullshit with that. Plus, they pulled in the TNG stuff, which I didn't really give a shit about. But like, yeah, Starfleet Command Volume 2 and Starfleet Command Orion Pirates was both amazing games. Love those games. Want more like that, honestly. So, yeah, I'm kind of right there with you, Jasper Jedi. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. Daniel's Hot Topics. Good day, Captain. What do you think about the last episode of Picard Season 7 Monsters? Well, we released our edited review yesterday afternoon, and then we did our full breakdown last night at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so I'd say go check those out. But overall, I really enjoyed it. Had some really great elements, like the Gaius Beltar in a Starfleet uniform at the beginning. Him, Picard not being in 2024, technically, at the beginning. The dungeon stuff was a little bit prolonged. Could have been cut down, but overall not bad. The Seven Raffi stuff, trying to find Girardi, was pretty well done. The Rios stuff, again, was pretty good. I thought it had a good pace. A lot of people really hate it, but I really don't give a shit. I enjoyed it, so that's kind of my thought on it there. Eric Martin, what with what's happening in the Ukraine, I'm trying to train myself not to whine about small stuff. Yeah, no shit. Absolutely. Trekkiards is here. Hey, man. I still haven't got the STL file from you, I don't think. I was waiting on something that I haven't got, so keep that in mind. Shannon Bailey, what's some sci-fi movies you like from between 1950s to 1980s? Forbidden Planet, The Black Hole, Last Starfighter. All the ones you just mentioned. Black Hole, Last Starfighter, Alien, Predator. I actually really like Alien versus Predator as well. I know that it's a shit rap. A lot of the movies that are kind of unpopular, I find to be guilty pleasures. So there's that. Let's see what other sci-fi movies. I don't know. Let's start listing off sci-fi movies in the chat, and I'll tell you what I think about them because I can't think of any right now. My movies are downstairs, so I'm looking at a shelf full of Star Trek stuff right now. So I can't even. Oh, let's see. Rocketeer is amazing. I love the Rocketeer. I actually like the Ghost Rider movies, both of them. The second one's definitely a guilty pleasure. It's better than a lot of people give it credit for, in my opinion. Final Fantasy, The Spirits Within. Love that. I just got some novelizations of movies and stuff over here, so that's why I'm... the Superman movies, Superman 1 and 2 obviously are amazing. Superman 3, I really like Superman 3. I was at that stage in my life, or that age, where I thought Superman 3 was the shit. I don't care if people give it a bad rap. I think Richard Pryor's funny. There's some ridiculousness in it, of course, but Star Trek or Superman 4, not so much. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, I actually kind of like that movie as well, for multiple reasons, but I understand it's a little bit slow, pacing's bad, some of the writing's not that great. However, I really enjoy the movie. Men in Black, yeah, it's good. That's all I can see there, so I can't even... Anyway. Cody says, did you play the Batman Arkham games? Actually, I didn't play them much. I have them. I have them. I think I don't know if I have all of them, but I have at least 2 of them. I did play the VR, Batman VR or Arkham VR completely through a couple times and did live streams of that. But yeah, I do enjoy the Batman games. I just never really got into them, unfortunately. Those are ones I need to revisit for sure. So, yes, I do like them. Christian Montgomery, have you watched For All Mankind on Apple TV? I have, and I'm eagerly awaiting season 3. I really enjoyed that. It was really good. I would highly recommend everybody watch For All Mankind. It is such a good show. Cody Michaels, also Spider-Man PS4 is amazing. Not a huge Spider-Man fan generally, so I haven't played it, but I played the VR, again, the Spider-Man VR demo, and it's pretty fun, actually. So, thank you for showing the Titanic 2 days ago. No problem. That was something I just felt like I've had to do for a few months now. There's also the Apollo 11 anniversary coming up in June or July. I can't remember which. And I'm going to do the Apollo 11 VR simulator for that as well on that day. So, Dan Ben, Star Trek Invasion is PlayStation. On PlayStation I played. Yeah, Invasion was interesting, hard. It was hard. You had to... The only way to get through the game really was to use cheat codes and stuff. But yeah, I like that game as well. Donna says, oh yeah, I really liked the Titanic post. Glad you guys liked it. Jasper Jedi. Pretty much my take exactly. I honestly don't know how Star Trek execs don't seem to see the potential in gaming in a modern era. Problem is, a lot of the Star Trek games never got the, never sold as well as they thought they should. So they're hesitant to put money into it. Same with the toys right now. Excuse me. Don't mean to like blow my nose in front of you, but yeah, that's why. So they released toys for the motion picture, right? They released some toys for that. They didn't sell well because the movie kind of was not super great. So they didn't release any toys for Star Trek 2. They're like, screw it, we're not going to waste their money. So no merchandise for Star Trek 2, one of the best Star Trek movies ever made. So that performed well. So when they were going into Star Trek 3, they're like, okay, we'll produce some toys for Star Trek 3. So they had, there's a Kirk, Spock, Krug, Spaghetti figure from Ertl, I think. Yeah, Ertl. And a few little ships and things for Star Trek 3. Star Trek 3 underperformed at the box office, which means the toys didn't sell. So like, screw it, we're not making any toys for Star Trek 4. So they didn't. Star Trek 4 did well. So again, Ertl picked up the mantle and had some non-posable toys for Star Trek 5. Like Commander Claw, Spock in his tactical gear, Kirk in his tactical gear, Cybok. There's some like figures and stuff. Not a lot of merchandise for that. Again, Star Trek 5 was kind of a miss. So when Star Trek 6 rolled around, they're like, we're not making any toys. So the waves of money making movies compared to toys is a really fun thing to look at. Speaking of, I have another video coming out probably soon on the Captain Foley personal channel talking about more strange Star Trek merchandising, weird toys and stuff. So keep an eye out for that. But Donnie Pearson, hello, happy Easter, my friend. General Grievous, do you make or collect models of non-sci-fi real military vehicles, whether it be sea, land, or air-based? I've made a few F-14 models. I made some P-51 Mustang models. I've made some cars. I've made some Lamborghinis. I've built some Camaros. I've totally given up on building car kits. Car kits fucking suck. I spend all this time in detail, because you start with the engine. You spend all this time in detail making everything painted beautifully. You put it together, you get this really nice engine. And then you've got to start to do the interior. You do the dashboard all beautifully. And then you go to marry the frame of the car to the body of the car. And a lot of the kits are kind of crap, so they don't merge well. And then things like break, and it's hard to... So I've given up on car models altogether. Same with plane models. I might do a really nice F-14 model at some point in the future. I don't know, but it has to be one of the expensive ones. That's a really good, well-built kit. But other than that, I've built a lot of things over the years. I built an Apache helicopter. I've built a Corsair from World War II. There's been a few model kits. I've built X-Wing and things like that. The ATST. But real world, not so much. Fleet Paw says Event Horizon. I really like Event Horizon. I enjoy Sam Neill as an actor, and also Lawrence Fishburne. Yeah, let's see who it is. The story is a little confusing, but it's a great premise for a sci-fi movie. So yes, Event Horizon is one. Dan Ben, do you like spoofs of Star Wars like Robot Chicken? I absolutely love spoofs. Robot Chicken, the Family Guy Star Wars spoofs. I wish there was more Star Trek stuff spoofing. There was the Star Wars Detours, which they had like completed pretty much, and then they haven't released them, but you see clips of it, and that show looks like I would love to see Star Trek Detours. Absolutely, I'm totally into spoofs. Absolutely love spoofs. Things like Spaceballs and stuff like that. I love the humor in a spoof. And a lot of people don't like that kind of humor. So, and I get that, but that's what really I enjoy, is stuff like that, so. Christian says, Soldier with Kurt Russell is a guilty pleasure of mine. I don't think I've ever actually seen Soldier, so. Eric Martin, I love Escape from New York. I haven't even watched Escape from New York. Donnie says, not only am I watching this live stream, but also your latest vid on the new 2370s Starfleet uniform that was seen in Monsters. Watching two at once? Dude, multitasking. Trek or not, check out Starship Troopers Terran Command game. Looks sick. Okay, I'll try to remember that. Fleet Paw, Escape from New York, Escape from LA, and the original Total Recall. Love the original Total Recall. Haven't seen Escape from New York or Escape from LA. Just never interests me. But the original Total Recall, absolutely, 100% yes. Dan Ben, what movie do you think has been remade too many times with multiple versions. It seems like Battlestar Galactica is going to be getting that way soon. But what movie? Total Recall. Didn't need the new one, honestly. Um, Nothing else is really coming to mind. I'm of the opinion that why remake a classic blockbuster that did well back in the day? Well, I know why. Name recognition, brand recognition. You want to get the money. It's all about the cheddar. But why not remake old movies that had shitty budgets but great concepts? I can't think of any examples offhand, but like more B-movie type stuff that sound like they would be amazing, but they just weren't made amazing the first time. Instead of ruining something that was amazing the first time and making a less good remake stuff that was not so great and make it better. That's kind of my thought. Eric Martin, Enemy Mine is good, and 2010 the year we make contact. I absolutely love Enemy Mine. Lou Gossett Jr. and that is amazing. So was Dennis Quaid. 2010 with Roy Scheider is, in my opinion, a better movie than 2001. 2001 is more of an intellectual thinking kind of movie, and yes, there's some great cinematography. However, I hate shots. I hate movies like Blade Runner, movies like 2001, where they're so worried about atmosphere that you like focus on a shot for 5 fucking minutes. I don't care. I get it. I'm not stupid. I can enjoy a 30-second shot as opposed to a 2.5-minute shot of the same thing and realize where I am and what it looks like. I get that that's their craft. They want to make it, these directors that are artsy-fartsy, it bores me after a certain point. I think 2010 is a really fun, underrated movie. And is it better than 2001? Not necessarily, depending on what you're using to judge quality. Like, I get that 2001 is a masterpiece. I understand that 100%, and I appreciate it more now than I did when I was younger. But 2010 is just, it feels like a movie. 2001 feels like an odyssey. And I know that's kind of the point, but I don't know if that makes any sense. But yes, Enemy Mine is amazing. Fleetpaw, Batman. Love the original Batman, yes. Spider-Man as well. I didn't mind the Spider-Man movies. I wasn't a huge fan of the Tobey Maguire ones. Andrew Garfield, all right. I really like Tom Holland's take on Spider-Man. He's kind of actually made me appreciate Spider-Man a lot more, but I was never really stoked for... And Spider-Man is a great example of too many movies, too many remakes, yes. Trek or not, there is a theory that For All Mankind is in the Star Trek universe, which is why the timeline is accelerated in Trek. Wow. Sure, makes sense. But well, yeah, it would make sense, because, yeah, they really pushed the space program, so by 1996 we would be able to launch Khan and his Superman into space. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Vinyl 306, your guys' channel is sweet. Thank you so much, Vinyl. Good to see you. Daniel Vance, much like the dog, I think I dozed off listening to that sweet captain's voice of yours. Aw, that means I'm boring. Thank you so much. I appreciate that I can bore you to sleep, as long as I'm helpful in some small way. Shannon Bailey, I've never seen Soldier with Kurt Russell, always eluded me. It got a bit of a bad rap from critics, didn't it? Yes, it did. Yeah. That's not why I don't watch things. I don't listen to what the critics say. If the critics say, if there's a lot of hype online, that, oh, this movie's awful, I'll be like, I'll give it a watch. And a lot of times, like I said, they turn into guilty pleasure movies for me. Like, I like a lot of things that a lot of people, the public opinion is that it's not great. So, Jasper Jedi, that's completely just super frustrating, especially since if they want younger audience, saturation gaming is where it would be at. Yeah, well, that's why they do a lot of mobile games now, because everybody's got a mobile phone, including kids. So, Sean O'Sullivan, €2 in Dublin, drinking, can't watch. Have a good one. Enjoy your drinking, Sean. Dan Ben, Doctor Who in the 60s or 70s had some weird merchandise with ray gun toys, but they don't look like any weapons seen in the show. Star Trek had the same stuff back in the 60s, shit that was totally unrelated to the show. So, Final 306, guys have YouTube pages just to build models. I see you guys have Facebook on lock with 8 pages. Wow. Yeah, Honestly, only 3 of those pages are really, well, 4 are really active. The Trekyards main page, the model group, the Fleet Yards page. We got a Fleet Yards page, which is a spin off just all of their sci-fi, not Star Trek, and also the Star Trek online Team Trekyards page as well. Sven Campman, is Samuel becoming an actor? No. Fry Minis, yo, I'm eating some chicken soup. Do you like chicken? I'm a huge fan of chicken soup. Chicken soup was one of my favorites growing up when I was a kid. I used to love making chicken noodle soup, sitting at the table and looking at a magazine. Like, whatever kind of magazine I was into at the time as a kid. So, yes, I love chicken noodle soup. Absolutely, 100%. JB, I think Discovery is a good Star Trek spoof. Yep. Yeah. I think Galaxy Quest is a better movie than 2009. 2009 is a spoof movie of Star Trek. Galaxy Quest is like a continuation or a remake of Star Trek, in my opinion. I know that Galaxy Quest is supposed to be more of a spoof, but it's not quite how it seems to me. Shannon Bailey, do you like Stargate SG-1? Standout seasons or episodes? Favorite character? Favorite character from that is definitely O'Neill and or Daniel Jackson. Fucking kid. And yes, I love SG-1. Standout seasons or episodes? I'd have to think about that. I don't have an answer for you right now. Fry Minis, what's your go-to Starbucks drink? I don't have one. It's like a caramel something large. And yes, I say large. I don't do the venti fucking grande shit. I'll fucking want a large. Fuck you and your goddamn menu. I want that drink and I want it in large. If you have a problem with me ordering it that way, I don't give a fuck. So, I don't know. I don't really have one. Or it's like a chocolate frappuccino, like fucking a chocolate drink with like whipped cream on top and like some chocolate chips in it. I forget what the fuck it's called. I don't know. I usually just go with my daughter because she's a huge Starbucks fan and she does all the ordering for me because she knows what I like. And she knows how to order in their foreign language. Daniel's Hot Topics. I really hope that one of the spin-offs coming is a temporal investigation series. I would love a temporal time ship in the 26th century going around and fixing the timeline or making more. Yes, I think that'd be great too. And make it a CGI show, much like Final Fantasy, The Spirits Within, that kind of animation, so that you can show each week whenever they visit a different timeline or a different time period, you can show the stuff without having to worry about building physical sets and costing a fortune as far as budget goes. Yes, I agree. Tangerine Star 26. Agreed. For All Mankind is brilliant, a compelling drama which raises the sci-fi aspects. LDG. Evening. Even though it's afternoon. Fry Minis. I'd love to see another Klingon Targ again. Maybe a good pet for the Prodigy crew. There's one right there. He's a pet. He's a Targ. Yeah. Sebastian, €5. Hey Cap, this might be my last message. The COVID's got me. It got me, Captain. Game over, man. Game over. Oh no, Sebastian. Hope you feel better, man. It's not the end of the world. It's not. I love how everybody's like, well, not so much anymore, but everybody was oh my God, I got COVID. I'm gonna die. It's like, you're not gonna die. Such a small percentage of people die on that. Unless you have existing medical conditions or are like elderly or really young, you're fine. The thing that scared me, which thank God I've never had COVID, but the thing that scared me was the lack of being able to taste anything. It would sometimes come back after a month. Sometimes there are people like a year later that still can't taste anything. That's fucking awful. What a way to live. That's what terrified me about it. Hopefully that doesn't happen to you, Sebastian. Sorry, I just didn't mean to bring that up like that. Oh my God, now you got something else to worry about. Matt King, really rare I get to any kind of live. Greetings from Vietnam. Ooh, well, hello, thank you for making it. And hello to All right, so it's probably not morning there, but good morning, Vietnam. Anyway, Tangerine Star 26. I would love to see a sequel for Flight of the Navigator and even Explorers. Yes, both fantastic movies in their own right. Fry Minis, what's your favorite U.S. state? Confusion. Christian Montgomery, John Carpenter's The Thing scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. Good flick. Yeah, it is. Laughable Larry, seen Picard's next episode preview? Looks like they're setting up the FBI agent to be a crazed cop who saw aliens, the Vulcans, when he was a kid, and not the time cop. Very disappointed in this. I haven't seen that yet, but I have heard all that, and yes, if it's not Duquesne, I'm going to be pissed right off. So, Daniel's Hot Topics. I love Star Trek Voyager episode Relativity. It's a great episode. Speaking of which, Lieutenant Duquesne on the time ship Relativity is an FBI agent in the last episode of Picard. I think he is the same person. I really hope so. His name is Agent Wells, and he was on a Wells-class vessel. The Relativity was a Wells-class. So, to have the same actor back, to have him know about sci-fi stuff, and to have him have the name Agent Wells, if it's not Duquesne who's there undercover or using a different name for some reason, I will riot. Dan Ben, did you ever play a video game Destroy All Humans? I think I played the demo for that. It was fun enough, but I never really played the game, no. Sebastian, a sequel to Enemy Mine would be great, or a story set parallel to it showing the space combat, etc. Hell yeah. There's actually this. The Enemy Papers. This is actually all stories set in the Enemy Mine universe. There's different books that were written. The Talman, Enemy Mine, the Author's Cut, the Tomorrow Testament, The Last Enemy, On Alien Languages, Run, Drac, Run, Drac for Travelers. So it's all collected works, and they're basically the Drac Chronicles or whatever, but they're called the Enemy Papers. So, and it's by Barry B. Longyear. It's kind of hard to get copies of these collected, but if you're interested, check out the Enemy Papers, see if you can find it by Barry B. Longyear. And these are it's all based on Enemy Mine. The original stories in here as well. So, fun fact that not a lot of people know about. Let's put that back for now. Tangerine Star 26. Carpenter recently said he would be interested in making a sequel to The Thing, so who knows. Matt Boardman. Good afternoon for you, Cap. I just woke up a few minutes ago. Good morning, Matt. How are you? Tom Casey, $2. Stop by and say hi. Hi. Hi, Tom. Eric Martin. Final Countdown is a guilty pleasure. Final Countdown is great. Yes, it is kind of a guilty pleasure movie. It's a little bit long and drawn out in spots, but all the F-14 footage, oh my God, it's such a great concept. But yeah, it's a little bit rough in a few spots. So, yeah. Final Countdown's good. Fry Minis, ready for Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness? I mean, sure. I'm still waiting for Top Gun Maverick. That's what I'm more excited for than anything, honestly. Sebastian, €2. Space Above and Beyond needs to be remade. Still have yet to watch Space Above and Beyond, but I'll probably get to it at some point. Cody Michaels, I keep waiting for Marvel to redo X-Men correctly. Never got on board with the Fox X-Men series. I agree with you 100%. Dan Ben, Star Trek also had that Capsules of Frozen Human TNG neutral zone. The Capsules of Frozen Humans, yes. So they had the stasis pods and stuff, which were launched around the time of 1996-ish. So, yeah, it could definitely be the case that For All Mankind is kind of like the Star Trek universe. Fleetpaw says, oh, weird Trek merch, eh? Like Spock's helmet, LOL. That was in the first video I did. I don't know if you've seen it. Apparently you haven't seen it, Fleetpaw, but over on the Captain Floyd personal channel, I did a video called Weird Star Trek Merch. Or I forget exactly what it was called. But anyway, maybe a month ago I did that. And yeah, that helmet was definitely in there. Matt Boardman, it's on my bucket list of things to do. I'm actually actively looking into what it would cost to do so. Oh, to have Above and Beyond remade. Ah. Tangerine Star 26. Yes, or the Continents. The way that series ended had me gripped. That revelation was a perfect cliffhanger. Or a continuance of Space Above and Beyond. Sven Kampman. I didn't like the JB prize. I didn't either. I still don't. Cody Michaels, Patrick Stewart, and Doctor Strange 2. Dun, dun, dun. Jasper Jedi, it's been so long, but I loved Stargate SG-1 as well. Sebastian, unless you're a Hollywood producer or something along those lines, I fear it will remain on your bucket list. Final 306, for a good comedy from guys that respect true Star Trek and hate Robert K. Half in the Bag, it's called. Sorry if you know them. Oh yeah, Red Letter Media. I know them. I don't really appreciate a lot of the way they talk about Star Trek, though. Like Rich Evans and Mike Susk, whatever the hell his last name is. They know a lot about Star Trek, but when they talk about stuff like Picard, it's just infuriating because they like miss obvious things. So it's fun to listen to them, but I really don't appreciate the way they talk about Star Trek a lot. So, but yes, I'm well aware of Red Letter Media. I've been watching them for years. Fleet Paw Swiftback, $2. You need to yell at quiet. Teal'c or Hammond for SG-1. I like them both, but Teal'c. Fry Minis, I thought James Callis was great in this episode, but I'm kind of sad that he won't have a bigger Star Trek role in something else now. I don't understand why he isn't a bigger actor. So good. I totally feel you on that one. Sebastian, yes, a continuation would be great too, although all the actors are a bit old now. This is the way of the world. Jasper Jedi, I'd be afraid the writers could not be able to do regular time-based shows, particularly if it were episodic. Macworld Entertainment. Greetings, programs. Hail, Captain Foley. Hail. Tangerine Star 26. Oh, I recently went to a Tim Hortons. Okay coffee, but damn those delicious cinnamon maple donuts. Well, if you went to one in the States, they're different than the ones in Canada, so. And their coffee used to be really good, but then they switched companies that did the coffee, so now the coffee is, yeah, just okay. And actually, it's funny because McDonald's here in Canada now is supplied their coffee by the same company that did supply it to Tim Hortons a few years ago. So the McCafe coffee, McDonald's coffee, is the old Tim Hortons coffee, and it's far superior. James McGill, what are you looking forward to this summer? Heat, warmth, sitting outside, driving my Camaro. Yeah, those things. Matt Boardman, I agree completely about COVID. It's been almost a year and a half. I got it, and there are still foods that don't taste or smell right to me. Anything with garlic has a weird taste. Oh no. Dan Ben, if you could have any Star Trek quotes on a t-shirt, what would it be? Well, double dumbass on you. That's a really broad question. I have no idea how to answer that. Jasper Jedi, as a Canadian and someone with lots of American friends, why was confusion so flippin' funny to me? I don't know what confusion is. Matt King, it's 1 a.m., so your good morning is fine. Oh, 1 a.m., yeah, well. As a Canadian, are you a fan of the greatest show from my homeland, Red Dwarf? I'm sure you'd love it. Yes, love Red Dwarf. If you don't know what a smeghead is, you probably are one. Matt Boardman, I am a professional visual effects artist who lives in LA. I have many friends in high places and have all the CG files and models for the series. Yes. Sebastian says, no worries, I can still taste all those lovely flavors out there, and I'm already on the mend, so it looks like I'll survive. Worst thing is the scratchy throat. Speaking of, my throat's getting a little dry from talking. Just watching my neighbor across the street in his driveway working on his car a little bit. Some body work, I guess, with his dog. Renee, someone said about season 3 of Picard to think Balance of Terror episode from TOS. Have you heard that? I haven't heard that specifically, but I've heard a lot of great things about season 3, so I'm super excited for it. And I know you probably won't watch it because you absolutely hate Picard, and that's fine. Shannon Bailey, Stargate SG-1, Window of Opportunity is my favorite episode. The Groundhog Day time loop one. Oh, O'Neill is hilarious, playing golf through the gate, kissing Sam, resigning, etc. Yes, that's actually the one that got me watching Stargate SG-1. I always meant to watch it. I always wanted to watch it, whatever. I'd see parts of episodes here and there. And then Samuel sent me that one and said, watch this episode. And once I saw that episode, I'm like, yep, hon, we need to watch the whole series. And Sylvia had watched it years before, so she'd seen the whole series a few times. But that's the one that got me into actually watching the whole series, was that episode. So Christian Montgomery, I think Wells is the kid with the Vulcans. It seems to have influenced his career direction. FBI, X-Files type guy. Well, that's just fucking stupid. So if they do that, I'm going to be very, 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 very disappointed. And it sounds like that's the way they're going. So it is what it is. Olivia Julius, again, $2. Hit like, do not argue, because I said so. Listen to Olivia, everyone. Renee, also rumors about Xindi and Strange New Worlds. I'd be okay with that. I was never really a fan of the Xindi in Enterprise, because why create a whole new race when you have a whole bunch of other races that you could access and use, such as the Interstellar Concordium, which were the original Xindi. They were in Starfleet battles. It was a species that all developed in the same solar system, and there was an aquatic one, there was a avian one. They already had that. It was called the Interstellar Concordium. But then no, we can't use that because we have to pay the person that created that for Starfleet battles the rights for that. So we're just going to create the fucking Xindi. That totally pissed me off about Enterprise. Matt King, I would love sequels to Dark World or Dark City. Haven't seen Dark City in forever. I don't remember any of it. Last Starfighter, yes. And V, all criminally underrated. Yeah, I agree with the last two for sure. JB, do you think that Top Gun Maverick will have more or less veiled homoeroticism in the scenes? I hate that argument that it's a gay, it's an analogy for being gay. It's like, no, it's not. Homoeroticism, come on. The only reason the volleyball scene was added was for the ladies. It was a last minute scene that they filmed because guys were going to be taking their girlfriends to see this movie, and there's nothing really for the girls to see. I mean, yes, Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer, but that scene was added specifically for some sex appeal for the ladies. So fuck that homoeroticism bullshit. I hate that fucking argument. How does that answer your question? Plus, there's female pilots in Top Gun Maverick, so yeah, that there won't be. Anyway, Sebastian got the exact copy. Did you know the author hated that movie? Yes, I did. Fry Minis, $2. Have you seen the TNG TAS video? Good stuff. Yes, I actually shared it on Facebook. It's great. Matt King, when I was a kid, I loved Sliders. It's ridiculous, but I'd love it to come back also. I never really watched it. I've seen, a few episodes here and there, but never really got into it. I'd be fine with it coming back. Jasper Jedi, Timmy's was one of the best fast food places in Canada ever since it was bought out. It's been sort of incredibly meh. Yeah, I agree. Canadian Captain, I'm in Regina, Saskatchewan. Oh, hey, Vinyl. Nice to see you way out there in Saskatchewan. Glemgy, just over a month until Top Gun Maverick. Hell yeah, my friend. And it's coming out the day before my birthday, May 27th. Fleetpod, Trek quotes on t-shirts. I'd be like, Bones, where's my damn torpedo? That's a good one. With an arrow pointing down. She's ready, Jim. Lock and load. Fire. Olivia Julius throws in $5. Thank you so much, Olivia. Did you know the Titan shuttles were named after Jasmine? Oh, what? Why did no one tell me this sooner? That's amazing. That makes perfect sense. Wow. How did you hear that? Like, did you just make that up, or is that something you heard officially? Wow, jazz musicians. And oh, and Riker likes jazz. I got it. Wow. I didn't know that. That's good. You learn something new every day. Puggins, did you know that? Did you know the Titan shuttles are named after jazz musicians? Oh, that fucking changes everything. Wow. I'll sleep so much better at night now. Thank you, Olivia. Fleet Pod, jazz musicians, really? You don't say. Jazz musicians, eh? Damn, I didn't know that. Robert Hartley, $10. Thank you so much for that super chat, Robert. Greetings, Captain. Will you be posting any update Camaro videos as the weather gets warmer? Yes, absolutely. Still quite a few things I need to do to it, and but yeah, it's running great. I had a complete overhaul, checkup, tune-up before it went away for the winter. So new spark plug wires, new spark plugs, a new high performance electric fuel pump. Obviously an oil change and oil filter and all that. But yeah, it's running fantastically. So something's got to go wrong. I do have some rust issues on my fenders behind the front wheels, but that's typical for those cars. It's getting a little bit bad, so I'm either going to have to repair that this year or possibly replace the fenders. The fenders I can get them for $280, brand new, $280 from CamaroDepot.ca. So $280 per side. That's not too bad. I also need to replace my trunk lid because it's got a little bit of a rust spot on the one corner as well. But that's like, I believe, $70? $70 for a new trunk lid. And then after that, like, I need to save up enough money to get a new paint job as well. So I probably won't replace all that stuff until right before the paint job. So I don't know. We'll see when that all happens. But yes, there will be more Camaro stuff. Jasper Jedi, an exploration of the Tenzkethi and Stranger Worlds would be very interesting to me. Though I don't know when they were introduced in Star Trek lore. The Tenzkethi. What? It sounds so familiar, but I can't not place it or what they look like. Fart Muffin, Top Gun. Playing with the boys, I'll be playing with the boys. Ah! Volleyball for the win, motherfucker. Matt King, Canada was killing it with sci-fi a few years ago with Continuum, Orphan Black, which both owned, and Almost Human, I think was Canadian. Which was your favorite? Never watched Continuum, never watched Orphan Black, or Almost Human was amazing. Almost Human I really liked. I don't know why that got canceled. That was phenomenal. Such a great show. So yeah, I'd say out of those, Almost Human. There was also like Dark Matter and Killjoys, which I could never really get into either one. I kind of watched most of them, but it felt very Canadian production-y, which is not a good thing. So, Kit 10K, throws in $10. Thank you so much, Kit. Yo, Cap, saw a notification about this live, but almost forgot to watch because I was working on a 3D printed RC tugboat I've been building. Ooh. I love your remote control Titanic you have. That's pretty awesome. So, well, have fun working on that. Hopefully it comes out well. Cody Michaels, don't know if this has been said. The Lost Arena is much less Van Halen this season. I wonder if there were complaints. Oh, there were complaints. There were a lot of complaints. And it's not the Lost, well, it is the Lost Arena, but it's also the Confederation version, so that's why it's all black. Even when we saw it with 7, though, that really bright Van Halen-y paint job wasn't showcased at all, to the point where Rios is like, what did you do to my ship? You mean my ship? And yeah. So yeah, it was just whoever fucking came up with that was just, I don't know what the hell they were smoking. That was a stupid idea. Yeah. They had complaints, don't worry. Matt King, before that it was TPP, which was funny when I was a stoner, but not so much now. Oh yeah, Dark Matter, Continuum, and Orphan Black are both astonishing, recommended. I know that Orphan Black's great. Ms. Lonnie, whatever the hell her name is, she's going to be playing the She-Hulk in the new She-Hulk show. Svetlana Maslany, I think is her name. Fun fact, her brother Daniel Maslany is in Murdoch Mysteries, which is one of my favorite shows. If you guys haven't seen Murdoch Mysteries, it's amazing. I think in some countries it's called The Artful Detective, but fantastic show, fantastic show. But there you go. Shannon says, with Stranger Worlds, what alien species would you like revisited, or something from the original series like the Tholians, or Brush with the Klingons, or Unseen Romulans, or something more obscure? Something more obscure. I would love to learn more about the Gorn, but they can't really fit it into the time period, but I'm sure they'll find a way and say, what, Canon? What's that? That's that thing you shoot little balls out of, right? Oh yeah, why would we can ignore that. It's just a weapon. I would love to learn more about the Gorn. Unfortunately, it's very difficult in the time they're in. The Cetaceans would be great, learning more about like Emrys' species, the cat people. The Kinzinti, the Lyrans. Lieutenant Eric's is he's a Transdivision. Whatever Lieutenant Eric's is would be great to see. More of that. I don't know. There's a lot of potential, yet there's not a lot that I can think of, just because a lot of them shouldn't be known about at this time period, so it's hard to say. Olivia Julius, again, puts in $5. Did you know Fleet Paw's tasty with barbecue sauce? Which part? The rump roast, the sausage, the breasts. That's really a disturbing comment, Olivia. I don't know what to say about that. Moving on, Fleetpaw. We've never seen the Zenkathi on screen. They were mentioned in DS9's The Adversary, the season 3 finale episode of DS9. Gotcha. Sure, let's learn more about them. I know that Takan, like the Takan Empire, is going to be part of, it's going to be the main focus of the Star Trek Resurgence game that's coming out. So we'll learn more about them in that game. But there would be another good one, obviously. The Preservers would be awesome. Kit 10K, $5. When we talked about the Raise the Titanic book earlier, is that in your book, in your Titanic collection as well? No. Like I said, my dad had that paperback. I actually might have it over here. I've got my paperbacks in this bookcase, but they're double stacked, and I think I do have it. Actually, hold on. Let me just take a quick look. I won't look through them all because let's see. I seem to recall that I do have it here somewhere. But yeah, I don't want to bore you guys. I'm just kind of letting the chat stack up a little bit, so I have stuff to talk about. It's not on any of the top shelves, so hard to say whether it's here or not. But I'm not going to go through all of them, obviously, because that would be rude while you're on them. Oh, hold on. So I don't have my dad's original copy, but yes, I have Raised the Titanic right there. With a bunch of other ones. Her Name Titanic. Just one called Titanic. The Night That Lives On is another one. A Night to Remember is another one. I got a bunch of Titanic novels, actually. So, yeah. So, yes, I do have it. And I think I still have my dad's original one around, too. But, not quite sure where that is offhand. So there you go. Sorry, we were looking at an empty chair for a while. Murray Nathan just saw the Picard Season 3 promo, which ends with Riker and Picard ready to blow someone away with pointed phasers. Glad they're going with violence over sci-fi. Pew pew. P-U. Sven, Captain, do you think Strange New Worlds is original timeline? Nope, absolutely 100% not. Terrence Williams, Kanzinti, Orions, and multiple types of Klingons, please. Glemg, is there a specific character you'd like to see guest star or make a cameo on Picard? Any of the TNG cast, but they're going to be in Season 3, so... so many options. I honestly don't know. I'd like the Doctor to come back. Doctor from Voyager would be good. Admiral Janeway. Admiral Janeway. There's one we need to see. Sebastian. So what do you think of Picard's new backstory? Strange New Worlds could do Gorn, right? His new backstory, don't have a problem with it. Kind of like it that his father's not abusive, honestly. And Strange New Worlds could do Gorn, right? Yeah. Starfleet didn't, well, they knew about the Gorn, but they didn't really see a Gorn until Arena. But, I mean, same thing can be said for Enterprise. They never actually saw any Romulan ships until the Romulan War, which was a huge misunderstanding. But in Enterprise, they went and fucked that up with really advanced-looking bird of prey that can cloak when Romulans back then didn't have cloak. Or if they did, it was a very primitive form of it. And actually, yeah, they didn't have it because Balanced Terror was a new technology. So they'll find a way to fuck it up. They'll find a way to... They'll find a way. They'll find a way. Don't worry. Jasper Jedi. The Zenkethi have interesting beta canon lore, which should be neat to explore on screen. A lot of the beta canon stuff's way better than anything you'll ever see on screen, and they'll never use the... Well, I won't say they never will use it. They've used a few odd beta references here and there in actual canon, but it's not something they like to do. Reese York, what did you think about the baby reptile creature in the Strange New Worlds trailer? I thought it was interesting looking. We talked about it when we did our breakdown. It could be a baby Gorn, and they don't know necessarily what it is, or they do know that it's a Gorn. I don't know. Sure. Could be a Xindi as well. Xindi reptilian or something. Who knows? But yeah, it was nice to see actual aliens in Star Trek. That's great. Dan Ben, yeah, more reptilians have been shown in trailers. The posting for Strange New Worlds. Oh, good to know, Dan. Eric Martin, if I ever get invited over, I have a good Titanic story to tell you from my mom's side of the family. Ooh. Matt King, what astonishes me constantly teaching in Southeast Asia is kids of 9 and 10 can't name a movie from the past 5 years, but for some reason they all know Titanic, a movie from the mid-90s. Well, it's historical. It's the teacher has a job. It's like, teach them about historical tragedies. The Titanic thing comes to mind. Oh yeah, I'll just throw in the movie for them. It's very, very, accurate and factual. So there are some problems with it, but Dan Ben, the reptilian eye with green in it is the latest Strange New World trailer. Oof. Well, it could be Xindi reptilians. It could also be Gorn. It's hard to say. Matt King, 2401, Lieutenant Junior Grade Harry Kim. Murray Nathan, betcha the Strange New World episode is called Children of the Gorn. Children of the Corn. Shannon Bailey. The Makoshians, an Excalibur alien species in Strange New Worlds. They're obscure and quite mysterious. Yes, both of those would be awesome to explore in more detail. I like the Excalibans. Again, another very alien-looking race. Same with the Malkotians. Fleetpaw would love to see a live-action Kinzinti in Strange New Worlds. Yes, absolutely. I agree. Might have to kill my son in a minute. How many times do you have to go in and out of your room to go to the bathroom? Maybe he's doing drugs. I don't know. Yeah. So, I don't know if Kit even saw the Raise the Titanic book there, but yes, I do have it. I just wonder where my dad's is now. It's weird. It's like it's a white paperback, but the cover's got like a green picture. It's like printed in like 3 colors. This really weird green picture of the side of the Titanic or something. It's got to be around here somewhere. Anyway, doesn't matter. Would love to just, oh, do it, yell at him. Olivia Julius, $2. How do I get my chihuahua to snore like a puggy? Smush its nose in and make it obese. Put some fat on it, you know. Have it be overweight. I don't know. Sven says maybe Strange New Worlds can make a change with Pike accident. That'd be great. I'd love it if that was his main motivation, is to find a way to avoid it, to change his destiny, his fate. So he's always kind of obsessed when he made a new alien species and there's some kind of weird shaman, witch doctor type of deal, where he's like obsessed with finding a way to change the future, or his destiny. I think that'd be an interesting take on the character and something that's totally realistic, honestly. So that'd be neat. I think that would be something that I would be interested in seeing happen. So. Kit 10K throws in $20. Thank you so much, Kit. Forgot to tell you, not only do I have a 30-inch sinking Titanic, I also built an 18-inch model based on the movie Raise the Titanic that I blow into a hose, inflating airbags in it, making it raise out of the water like in the movie. Ooh, interesting. Didn't know all that stuff existed. Is it stuff you've purchased or stuff you've built? Like, it seems like kind of an odd... specific thing, you know? Sorry, I just had to carry something there. Christopher Mulrooney, was that a Voyager Type 9 shuttle in the short promo that Paramount Plus posted a few days ago? Don't know which one you're talking about. I don't know if I've seen it, so I can't answer that. Don't know. Sebastian, I don't get the fascination with the Titanic. I mean, they all died. Not all of them. It's just that it was its maiden voyage. It's like the most luxurious ship of the time. All new stuff on it. Like it was the captain's last journey was the maiden voyage of this one. Like he was going to retire after it was over. There's a lot of weird, tragic things that happened. That's why it's interesting. So I don't know what to tell you, man. Kit 10K, $5. And yes, I saw the copy of the book. Shannon Bailey, they could definitely make non-human like alien species look great now. Unfortunately, the Gorn looked pretty awful in Enterprise. The Tholian wasn't great, but looked pretty good. The Tholian was pretty good, yeah. The Gorn, yeah, was not great. Actually, the Gorns that we were talking about earlier in that 2009 Star Trek video game were fantastic looking. Like if they go with that kind of look for a Gorn, that'd be great. So it's kind of circling back to what we've kind of started talking about on this live. Those Gorn looked good, and looked alien enough. So, Glimgy, my buddy Brad, how's it going, Brad? So there's a hotel in St. John's that offers a Titanic package. Enjoy dinner and wine served from the same menu as the Titanic on replica china and a gourmet breakfast in the morning. Neat. Or do they just run in the middle of the night and like pour cold water on you, tip your bed over, and then yell at you, go run down the stairs, run down the stairs, run down the stairs, get downstairs, get downstairs, get downstairs, get to the lifeboat, get to the lifeboat, and they shove you in your car and they fucking kick you and they tell you get the fuck out. Go on, get. That's what would happen. That'd be a great experience. Hell yeah. Like I've got this, which is really cool. Music as heard on the Fateful Voyage, the White Star Orchestra, it's the Titanic. Basically, I got a whole bunch of really cool Titanic stuff. I should do a Titanic live. But this has got like a whole bunch of things about the band that was on board and different stories about each of the songs that they played. I know most people are like, I don't give a shit about Titanic. Anyway, so this is all Titanic. I'll just read the back of it real quick. Many brave things were done that night, but none were more brave than those. But none more brave than by those few men playing minute after minute as the ship settled gently lower and lower into the sea. The music they played serving alike as their own immortal requiem, and wow, this is really badly worded, and their right to be recorded on the rolls of underlying fame. That was by Lawrence Beasley, a Titanic survivor. But anyway, yeah, it goes through all the songs that they played at the dinners and also the night that the ship was sinking. So a whole shelf over there of Titanic stuff. So anyway, sorry. Olivia Julius, $5. Thank you, Captain. I just gave Artie more food and have a sledgehammer so I can get that snout shortened. Is that how you did yours? No, ours is just really stupid. And we said, you want to go outside? And she ran to the patio door and we just didn't open it. And it's... Yeah. Glemgy, it's called the Ryan Mansion Boutique and Hotel in St. John's. And I'm half tempted to check it out sometime. Yeah, I think that'd be fun. Fleetpaw, I agree about the Enterprise Gorn. Keep in mind that it was a mirror Gorn, so they could have possibly evolved differently there. It could also be there's different kinds of Gorn, different regions on the planet that have different looking Gorn. That's one of the things that I like to say about that because it just makes sense. The Darth Eddy, noticed in the concept art for the Enterprise corridors that they actually remembered to put a TOS-styled wall comm panels with the speaker and red plate on the walls. A small victory. Yeah, there's a lot of little small victories, but overall it's a huge fail. They won some of the battles, but they lost that war, I think. Matt King, Pike attempting to escape his destiny would be the best arc if they have to do one, which given modern trends they will be bound to. What other, if any, through points would you like to see? I don't know. Spock becoming less human and emotive. I think that's going to be a thing. There's going to be a lot of overarching character arcs, but I hope there's not any big story arcs. They did say it's going to be episodic. And even on the panel that we saw in Chicago, they said, don't worry, each week you're going to be seeing a new planet and new species. It's going to feel very much like the original Star Trek in that regard. So excited for that. So I don't know any other ones that I could think of that I would be interested in seeing. Don't know. Area 51, the Titanic tragedy was a lesson in sheer fucking hubris. Don't go calling a ship unsinkable, asking for trouble. Kit 10K throws in $20. Thank you so much, Kit. I started with building a model of Titanic around her 100th anniversary of her sinking and saw a YouTube channel called Rapid Nation, and saw all of their sinking Titanic models and followed how they did it to make mine do it. That's super cool, man. That must have taken quite a bit of skill to do that. Jonathan F. Hi, Captain, from Stamford, Connecticut. Hello, Joseph. What did I say, Jonathan? Sorry, Joseph F. Yes. Brad says, my favorite line from the movie was this, but this ship can't sink. She's made of iron, sir. I assure you she can, and she will. Yeah, he was really good in that movie. 'Tis a mathematical certainty. Yes. Yep. Sebastian, let's talk crossovers. Read or seen the Batman TMNT crossover or the He-Man versus Thundercats one? I have the Batman, or not the, I have the He-Man and Thundercats one over there. Not that I need to prove it to you, but where are you? There it is. He-Man and the Thundercats. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Thundercats. Oh. Yeah, I got it. I like some crossovers. I'm not a huge crossover fan in general, honestly. I haven't seen the Batman TMNT one, but first was excellent. Second was just okay. A Batman and Crow crossover would be Batman and Crow would be amazing. James McGill, which shows violated the Star Trek canon more? Enterprise or Discovery? Discovery. Hands down, Discovery. Enterprise tried to stay in the guidelines because they had like Michael and Denise Akuto working on it. And they also had Doug Drexler and people that cared and were like, no, we shouldn't do that. And the producer's like, oh, we're going to. It's like, okay, well, we'll kind of do it this way so it's not as bad. Discovery's like, what canon? What? This is a new show. This Star Trek. Never heard of it before. We're just going to do what we want. Olivia Julius, $2. I've had a bad week. Can I see Precious? Yes, of course you can, Olivia. Say hi to Olivia. Oh, he's so tired. She's had a bad week. Say, it'll be better, Olivia. It's okay. It's okay. There you go, Olivia. Hope that cheered you up. Somewhat. Dan Ben, a Tholian web in Strange New Worlds. I'd be fine with Tholians in Strange New Worlds. Darth Eddie, Enterprise's canonical issues can be argued away since it's 100 years before Pike and 110 before Kirk. Discoveries are a lot harder to argue away since it's just before TOS. Yes, this is true. However, the Enterprise ones being easier to argue away. To some old school people like me that grew up with FASA, we grew up with Starfleet Battles, we grew up with that time period being filled in beta canon, which is our head canon. There's some not unrecognizable, there's things that we can't argue away just because it's the way it should be. And I know it's not canon, it was never canon, it's beta canon, it's only game canon, but we grew up in those years where there was no Star Trek, so we absorbed everything into our minds that we could. So we had a whole history and backstory as to what was happening in that time period, and Enterprise came along and fucked it up. Just saying, all right, well, we're on screen now. So, but you are right. It is easier to argue away Enterprise stuff. Dan Ben, yeah, the latest trailer was about the new planets. Okay. Fleetpaw, I'd have to go with Discovery. Yes. Joseph F., I like watching your Trekyards. It's K. Thanks for saying hi. Oh, it's okay. I didn't mean to say the wrong name, Joseph, but no problem. Thank you for saying hi to me, and thank you for joining. We appreciate it. Kid 10K, I've been wanting to read the He-Man versus Injustice comics. Haven't even heard about those. Cody Michaels, for a while there was a version of Titanic on YouTube with all Jack and Rose stuff cut out, and it's just accurate things. It was great. That'd be awesome to see, actually. However, Kate Winslet, I could stare at Kate Winslet all day, so I have no problem seeing the Jack, and that's fine. It's fine. You could cut out the Jack stuff and just have Kate, and there'd still be a Jack going on, if that makes any sense. No, yeah. Kit 10K, They also did do a Batman meets Judge Dredd in the comics a while ago. Cool. Dan Ben, Futurama did Titanic twice, once with the spaceship and second time with the land Titanic, largest only street-going vessel ever built. The ship was built as a giant bus. I haven't seen that one. I saw the first one with the spaceship, but... Olivia Julius, Precious is probably thinking, wow, you named that thing Olivia now? Yes. The Darth Eddy, Enterprise should have introduced the Daedalus class to smooth things out a little. There's nothing in canon that it was solely a Federation class of starships, so Earth could easily have had used them. Actually, there's a book called Year One. It's a novel called Year One, which talks about the Daedalus class ships. That's the other thing. There should have been a Daedalus class ship, at least in the background of Enterprise, and not the NX-01. The NX-01 never existed. I mean, all of Star Trek history told us that to that point, including the wall of the briefing room and the Enterprise D. But anyway, and this book, Starfleet Year One, talks about the 12 new Daedalus class ships, the most advanced ships of the time, built to deal with the Romulans. And it was a scramble for the captains to see if we can get captaincy of these ships. It's a really good novel. And it even starts, the first page is like, this story goes under the assumption that the events of Star Trek Enterprise never occurred. This is not the correct timeline, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, it's more primitive, more archaic than the NX-01. And it just feels like a better, like they should have had a Daedalus class in the background of NX-01 or Enterprise at some point, but nope. Matt King, they already crossed my two favorite shows, the Star Trek Doctor Who comics a few years ago, which was meh, though highlighted how the Borg were quite the Cybermen ripoff. What would you cross with Star Trek? I would cross nothing with Star Trek. Please don't cross things with Star Trek. I get so sick of seeing stuff crossed with Star Trek. The Doctor Who was a fairly good idea. Highlander. If you're going to cross anything with Star Trek, make it Highlander. Make it be an immortal. There's actually a really good crossover. Okay, you need to know what Forever Night is. Forever Night's about a vampire cop in Toronto back in the 80s, which starred Garrett Wynn Davies. Fantastic show. So Forever Night, Highlander, which we know about, I hope. Quantum Leap, which you guys know about, I hope. And... Starman, I think. There's another one too. There's like 5 crossovers in one fanfic story, but it's basically Detective Nick Knight, who is a vampire cop in Toronto, discovers a headless body, which he has to investigate the murder of. Turns out it's immortals. Turns out Sam Beckett at the same time jumps into the body of either one of the immortals or Nick Knight, the vampire, which realizes that he's a vampire and he's like, oh boy. I think there's another vampire as well, which is part of, or it's a vampire that's killing immortals. I forget how the story goes. Anyway, there's another thing mixed in there with it. Oh, X-Files. The X-Files is mixed in with, oh, sorry. It's okay. With, Scully and, I can't think of the name. Fuck. Yeah, it's X-Files, Forever Night, Highlander, Quantum Leap crossover. And I think Starman is in there too. The original movie Starman. Anyway, fantastically well done. But yeah, I don't know. You don't need to cross anything with Star Trek. I mean, Quantum Leap comes to mind, but it's his own lifetime unless they change that. They could maybe change it to be not his own lifetime. That would be great. Highlander would work. I don't know. Eric Martin, in the Strange New Worlds trailer, has anyone figured out the name of the Connie that they show crash on the planet? No, no one has yet. Fleetpaw, I still subscribe to the theory that Enterprise is a splinter timeline caused by the Borg temporal incursion of 2373 into 2363. Had the Borg not interfered, FASO might still be semi-canonical. Sure, yeah, that works. Matt King completely forgot the Doctor Who Titanic episode with Kylie Minogue. Sounds awful, but was a pretty good Poseidon adventure. Pache. Or, yes. Kit 10K, $10 or $5. Thank you. Anytime I bring my 5-foot Titanic to a meet, I get asked, "Where's Jack and Rose?" I tell them I threw his ass overboard and took her back to my cabin. Oh man, you the man. Brad says, thoughts on the fourth Star Trek movie starring Chris Pine. Apparently it's still in development, but if all goes to plan, it'll be out in 2023 reportedly. It's all bullshit. They announced, like, oh yeah, we're going to bring them all back again. And all the actors were like, what? This is the first we're hearing about it. That's all bullshit. Don't believe any of that shit. Like I said, I'll believe that when I have popcorn in hand and I'm buying my ticket. Because until then, it's all bullshit. That's my thoughts. Eric Martin, Kit 10K, you are a true romantic. Yes, indeed. The Darth Eddy, in my headcanon, the NX, Daedalus, and Intrepid-type starships formed the core of Earth's combat fleet in the Earth-Romulan War. There's even an fan art or novel covers featuring both the NX and the Daedalus. Yes, there's many of those, but I still don't think the NX should exist. But hey, it's still better than Discovery. Dan Ben, didn't they say the word quantum leap in the latest Picard episode? Yes. Picard said, I think we've taken a real quantum leap in personal boundaries, because she was inside his head. Yes. Oh boy. Donnie Pearson, hello, Peg. Dan Ben, there actually is a quantum leap episode where he leaps into the body of a guy who has no reflection in a mirror and they think he's a vampire. Yes, there is. Cody Michaels, didn't James Cameron damage the Titanic while down there? Don't know where I've heard that. Possibly. I mean, it's going to happen when you're using a remote RV, remote thing with the cable. It's going to happen. Unfortunately, he didn't do a lot of damage, and he actually discovered quite a bit about the wreck that they didn't know before, because they were using like cutting edge technology when he was down there. So, yeah, I can forgive a little bit of damage. It's fine. The ship's already kind of fucked, right? So, Shannon Bailey. Apparently, Carl Urban may not be able to reprise his role of Dr. McCoy because of his filming schedule on The Boys. Hope they can somehow make that work. I think his McCoy is the best, most accurate of the bunch. Totally agree, and yeah, I would hope they would be able. He cares enough about Star Trek, and he cares enough about the character to work around that schedule. He was even willing to take a pay cut to do a Star Trek 4 when Chris Pine was like, "No, you need to pay me all the monies because I'm Chris Pine. I'm not doing it because I love my character or I love Star Trek. I just want the fucking money." Prick bastard. Carl Urban was willing to take a pay cut. Yeah. So, I don't know. Yes. But you're right. McCoy is the most accurate out of all of them. I just watched Star Trek Beyond like 3 nights ago. Threw it on in 3D. Just been going through my 3D movies and kind of watching them in 3D. The beginning and the ends of that movie are great. The middle is a little bit of a problem. It's not as good as I remember. But yeah, McCoy is one of the best parts of those. Broken Speaker. I like the term headcanon. I have a problem where stuff from non-canon novels and annuals bleed over into official stuff. Yes, Broken Speaker, yes. Headcanon. Everybody's got their own and, it's fine. But anyway, and canon, in the term you're using, it only has one N. I need to correct people on this because it's a real pet peeve of mine. Canon with 2 N's is a weapon. Canon that you're referring to only has 1 N. So please try to get it right in the future. Sorry, it's a pet peeve of mine. I want to help people get it right. So call me grammar police, whatever. I really don't give a shit. I'm going to correct people when I see it because it's really annoying. I think it's just a lot of people don't know the difference or they never learned that there's 2 different versions of canon. So I'm just trying to help. The Darth Eddy. For those who say that TOS Enterprise is too small, remember that she's 67 feet longer than the Titanic, and that's still considered a huge ocean-going ship. Dan Ben, is there anything you like from Star Wars Legends which is non-canon that you wish we made into Star Wars canon? I don't know a lot about Star Wars expanded universe stuff, honestly. I never really got into it. I know little bits here and there. I have a few of the novels, some of which I haven't even read. So I'm not, no, there's nothing that I really, I just wish they would have kept the Han and Leia's kids being twins and being both trained by the Jedi. I wish they would have kept that shit instead of the Kylo Ren shit. Other than that, I don't know. Nothing really comes to mind. Rees Yorks. Fans worry more about canon, he got it right, than television and film execs. Yes, this is true. Fleetpaw, they say that within 100 years, the only thing left of Titanic will be a few rusty spars and maybe some of the non-metallic stuff like China, etc. Yep. Matt King, I would trust Carl Urban to play all the parts in a one-man show. He's that good. I look forward to his Riker in a few years. Mr. Captain 93, can you explain the whole Trekkie versus Trekker controversy in the mid-90s? I can. I mean, a Trekkie is somebody that's more into the minutia, the technical manuals, the specs on ships, just everything Star Trek. A Trekker is somebody, like as it implies with the name, somebody's going on a trek, somebody's going on a voyage. They're a Trekker, you know. They just watch the show and enjoy the show. They know some little minutia stuff, they know some little facts, but they just know the show. Trekkers are, sure, they might know like episode titles and things like that and which actors in which one, but they're not into the minutia of the technical manuals and the Starfleet Starfleet medical book, or the, you know, Mr. Scott's Guide to the Enterprise, stuff like that. They're not into that kind of minutia. A Trekkie is into everything, sometimes not so much episode titles or which actors are in which episodes or guest stars, but they're very much into the technical aspects. Like Riker was on this planet between this year and this year, and the Enterprise has 5 different ODN cables running in this wall. You know, that's the difference. Plus, Trekkie was the original. Gene Roddenberry said it was Trekkie. Trekyards, it just kind of always irritated me because it's Trekkie, but then the Trekkers came in, they wanted to be more hip, and a Trekker sounds cooler, we're going to go with Trekker. And a lot of people just use Trekker because they don't understand the difference. They just think it's newer and it sounds cooler. Trekkie is still like the original OG, and they obviously know a lot more of the minutia. There is a differentiation there. Yeah. Fleetpaw's got it right there. Trekkies learn how to say things in Klingon. Trekkers just understand that it's Klingon, but think you're weird for doing it. So that's the difference. Broken speaker. It's a phone thing. It autocorrects canon to canon occasionally when it thinks that's what you want in the context of the message. Oh, well, sorry for... Okay, listen. You gotta move your head because you're snoring in that position, okay? I love you and all, but... Glemg says, I would have loved to see them bring in Mara Jade, but it is what it is. Looking forward to the Old Republic film they want to make, though. Kit 10K, just remember there is a Kelvin Timeline Star Trek crossover with Green Lantern. I think it was Hal Jordan as Green Lantern. Yes, there was. It was a novel form. There was also X-Men and TNG crossover as well. There's been a bunch of shit like that. The Darth Eddie, Urban and Quinto are the 2 best things about the Kelvin Timeline movies, but I'll always say the JJ Klingon makeup is 100 times better than Discovery's. Hell yes. SVS Guru 2000, 10 euros. Thank you so much. With Picard getting arrested in the last episode, after Rios, the show reminds me of one of the worst TOS episodes, A Piece of the Action, where Kirk got captured, escape, and ad nauseum. One of the worst TOS episodes? Fuck, man. Piece of the Action is one of the absolute greatest TOS episodes. It is such a fun episode. One of the worst episodes? Really? No, man, no. Such a fun episode, and it's like the only episode where you actually see the Enterprise stun like a block's worth of people. Dude, Piece of the Action is one of the best episodes of TOS, hands down. Broken speaker, pug snore, volume 2 maximum. Fleet pod, Trekkies go as far to learn Klingon. Trekkers look at them like weirdos. Donna says, speaking of crossovers, there is a Star Trek novel called Ishmael by Barbara Hambly, which is a crossover with old show Here Come the Brides. Also, Stranger Worlds is using this book for Spock's name. Yeah. Cody Michaels, just looked it up. James Cameron is in 95, wrenched off the Marconi room skylight, tore down the bulkhead of E.G. Smith's, and attempted to descend into the grand staircase, but the sub wouldn't fit. Oof, that is some serious damage. Dan Ben, I wish they had kept Kyle Katarn. Okay. Do you think the Marvel Cinematic Universe Fantastic Four movie will succeed because every other Fantastic Marvel Four movie was gone? Yes, I think it'll succeed. And I think the first Fantastic Four movie, not the 80s one, not the Roger Corman one, but the one after that with Jessica Alba as Invisible Girl or whatever the hell her name was. I thought that was a fun movie. The Silver Surfer one wasn't as good, but those were fun movies. It even had Chris Evans as playing Johnny Storm, for Christ's sakes. So those ones I really enjoy. Plus Jessica Alba, come on. She looks fantastic in those movies. So I think it'll be good, and I disagree that all the Fantastic Four movies have bombed. I mean, from a business standpoint, maybe. But, yeah, anyway. Sorry. Moving on. I think I need to close the window. My face is all like washed out. Oh, that should be fine. There we go. Ooh, that's better. There was both TOS and TNG X-Men crossovers. They referenced the TOS one and the TNG one. Oh, okay. Ozzy says, Piece of the Action, only on Tuesday. Yes. Like Fizbin. The Piece of the Action is a perfect example of Kirk knowing he's broken the Prime Directive, but having the right excuse to tell Starfleet Command about why he did it. Kirk broke the rules so well. This Piece of the Action is awesome. Let's get some heaters and fix the situation. Right. Check. I agree with the episode. A Piece of the Action is a great episode. I laughed my ass off when Kirk is trying to drive the car. Nobody drives a car that fucking bad. I'm sorry. That's comedically bad driving for the sake of being comedically bad. So that's a little annoying to me. But anyway. Long live the pug, yes. Matt Boardman, A Piece of the Action is a serious fan favorite. Hell yeah. Darth Eddie, well, we found out what happened to the USS Horizon. What are you complaining about? Jason says hi. SC-84 is a smiley face. Ozzy, Piece of the Action, Captain, you're awesome Starship Commander, but a taxi is a different story. Oh, you're awesome as a Starship Commander, but taxi drivers, yeah. Dan Ben, also, haven't all the Green Lantern movies flopped? Yes. Royal Fizbin, yeah. Cody Michaels, the 90s Fantastic Four cartoon theme is one of my favorites. General Grievous, then again, I can understand Kirk driving the car so badly because they weren't that common in the 23rd century. Truth. But nobody drives a standard like that without stalling it 15 times. He was just like, But it takes skill to actually drive it that bad. So, anyway. Fleetpaw, what is it with Trek characters and driving cars? One would think driving a car, truck, SUV would be much easier than piloting a starship. Seems the only one to drive the car well was Tom Paris. And Seven, she did a fantastic job. What, you telling me you can't drive it? Throws it into reverse, backs out, fucking. She drove it really well, just aggressively. So, yeah. Mr. Captain 93, Kirk was a better driver at 10 than 35. Oh, yes. Yeah. Well, that probably wasn't a standard. Maybe it's an automatic original Corvette. Anyway, the Darth Eddy. We almost got a sequel to Piece of the Action on DS9 instead of Trials. Tribble episode, yes. So they actually made it into a Star Trek annual comic. So the story, the original story that they were going to do for DS9, instead they put in comic book form, which I have down there. Corey Brown, honestly never heard Trekker before. Well, you don't want to. Kit 10K, $50. Oh my god, thank you so much, Kit. Speaking of Cameron's Titanic movie, he had the grand staircase built exactly like the original, and they discovered that when they flood the set, the sinking scene, the staircase broke loose, and they figured it happened with the real ship. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Piece of action, Kirk tells Spock it beats walking. Hell yeah. The Darth Eddy, Kelvin timeline, Kirk lost his dad, so ended up living with his asshole uncle, and that's how he learned how to drive a car so well. Prime Kirk never had the chance since George and Wyona remained together. Matt King, I ducked out of the ready room because it's really hard to get in here. But if Wesley was to return next series, how do you think he should? Next series? I mean, next season? He'll be back next season with the rest of them. I guarantee you that. I promise you that. Don't worry. Wesley will be back. How's he going to get back? I don't know. He's just going to be a captain. He's going to be Captain Wesley Crusher. I don't know. He'll be back next season. Don't worry. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that. Yeah, he'll be back next season. Don't worry. Kit 10K. Archer drove a pickup truck pretty well. Yes, he did. Dan Ben, which episode of TNG and Voyager did you find the most boring? Boring. The Voyager one is probably the one where they don't remember who they are, but they're working on a planet and they have like lives. Janeway's working at a factory or something. I don't fucking know what it's called. That's a 2-part episode for some fucking reason, and I hate every second of it. It's boring as hell. TNG. There must be one, but I can't think of it. There's got to be a boring TNG episode, but I can't think of any right offhand. Dan Ben, would you like if they brought back Knight Rider, but this time put Kid in a different vehicle? Yes, as long as it's not a Mustang or a Team Knight Rider where there's like 5 of them, or yes, do Knight Rider properly and bring it back in. I don't care what, just not a fucking Mustang. Sebastian, Back to the Future 4. McFly's kid discovers his dad's DeLorean in a garage and takes it for a spin and ends up in what century, decade or century? Don't know. Dinosaur times. Mr. Captain 93, one of these days I wonder if San Francisco police will put together that the people who disappear in the hospital in 96 are quasi-related to the people disappearing in a police car in 2024. Matt Boardman said the episode's workforce. Yes, can't stand that fucking episode. Eric Martin, I drove a Model T once and it's a bit challenging. I believe it. Sorry, I'm British. Series versus season. Yeah, I figured. That's why I didn't say anything else. Yes. See, a series, though, is a series of stories. Like Voyager, it's all a series, all the seasons. A season is a season, like the seasons outside. They change and then they come back. So it's a season. It's not a new series. I don't understand the rationale behind that. Voyager is a series. DS9 is a series. TNG is a series. And they each have 7 seasons of that series. There's not 7 series of Voyager, because that would be like Voyager, then Voyager Paris, then Voyager 7 of 9, then Voyager Janeway, where they're all like spin-off shows. Then it would have 7 series. I don't know. Sorry, the British in that regard, I think, are just wrong. So I understand a lot of the differences between English and British, but that's one I can't reconcile, and that one I just will fight back against every chance I get. So Sorry. Glemg, so is Q changing the past? Has Picard now turned into Back to the Future? Presumably, will he just snap his fingers and everything return to normal in the end? Don't know what's going on with the Q thing. That's too complicated a question to answer right now. Will Wheaton is all like, I'm happy to watch my family get back together on screen, but as soon as he's on screen, he's like, surprise, bitches, I lied. Oh yeah, absolutely, that's what's going to happen. Piece of the action, the boss tells Kirk, don't touch the book. The Darth Eddie, I don't know if it's DS9's most boring episode, but the final Mirror Universe episode of the series with Mir Burrell is so big of a slide to watch. I don't know, I'd have to look through the episode titles to pick the most boring one of each series. Shannon Bailey, when I see the cast for TNG in the upcoming season 3 of Picard about Will Wheaton's name included, I was thinking when he found out he had to have been crying. Yeah. Dan Ben, Stargate SG-1 has an episode which is the same as Workforce. Yes, but it's done better. And it's only one episode, it's not two. It's done much better. Voyager really... that was such a boring episode. I didn't give a shit. Shannon Bailey, they will likely cameo Will Crusher, though. Well, he'll be in it, yeah. It didn't say he'd have a major role, but he'll be in it. Kit 10K throws in $10. The TNG episode Night Terrors apparently didn't do well, which I was disappointed to hear. I loved it because it scared the hell out of me when I was a kid. I loved every second that it scared me. Yeah, Night Terrors is a good one. Sebastian, there's actually a t-shirt with a T-Rex facing off against a DeLorean entitled Back Too Far. Mr. Captain 93, series versus season is like math versus maths. Well, there's only one correct one there too, and that's math. But hey. Matt Boardman, Night Terrors has some serious creep factor to it, and I like the music was on point. Fleetpot says, I think In the Cards is DS9's most boring episode. I'll watch it, but it's not good. I can't even remember what that one's about, so. Cody can't stand Will Wheaton. The Darth Eddie, I love Enterprise and have to say that the 7th is probably the most boring episode of the entire series. More than a few are worse and a lot worse, but the 7th is just exercise in tedium. Matt King, hello. I know, but we see each as a series of episodes. That's just what we grew up with. As an English teacher living abroad, I fight many battles like this every day, and usually like a series of episodes. All right, I like it. The Darth Eddie, there's boring and there's terrible. When you're both, it's a disaster. Anyways, I'm going to call it there, guys. I think Sylvia's actually up from her nap. Yeah, she is. So I'm going to go spend time with my wife. I loved hanging out with you guys, but thank you guys for joining me, and I might do another one later tonight, we'll see, or I might do one tomorrow afternoon as well, another live. So if you guys are interested, please tune in for those if you're able to. If you see me live, just pop in and say hi. I'd really appreciate it. So anyway, until next time, guys, I'm Captain Foley. That is Snorri McSnorrison the pug, and I'll see you guys soon. Have yourselves a great weekend and a happy Easter, and I hope everybody has a good time this weekend. See you later, guys.